Hello, welcome to our third season of WSD Voice, a podcast focused on positive and informative news in Waterford School District. I am your host, Sarah Davis, the Director of Communications and Community Relations, and I am here with Waterford School District Superintendent Scott Limburg. Say hello to everyone, Scott.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you all back in the studio with us today.
How was your summer?
Oh, fantastic. What summer? It was a long time ago.
I know. Oh, good. I'm glad that you had some time to recharge. We did get some exciting news over here ourselves. We learned that this podcast was awarded a 2023 Publications and Digital Media Excellence Award from the National School Public Relations Association, which recognizes exemplary work in school public relations throughout the country. And then just last week, we learned that we won an award of merit for WSD Voice from the Michigan School Public Relations Association, which is similar to the national group, but instead we focuses on school PR just in the state of Michigan. So our department was thrilled with both of those.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, again, I think the awards speak to the multiple ways that we want to connect with our community, with our parents, and really even with our students. So congratulations to you and your department and really the entire district that helps us with our communications.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So let's get to the topic of why we are here today. We are kicking off this season by discussing Link Crew, a program that both Mott and Kettering high schools they have their upperclassmen welcome ninth graders to ensure that they have a smooth transition and journey into high school. And to help us with that discussion, we have Andrew Miller, a science teacher at Mott High School, and Meg Grossnickle, language arts teacher at Kettering, both of which are Link Crew program coordinators for their respective schools. So welcome to both of you to WSD Voice.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Andrew, we're going to start with you. Can you explain what Link Crew is, and if you know how long it's been a program in our school district for?
So Link Crew, like you said, it's a program designed to help sort of usher in the freshmen into high school, give them a warm welcome moving in from middle school. As far as I know, Link Crew, so it's definitely been around. This is year 7 since I started in the district, and it's been a thing since I have been in the district. And actually, my wife graduated from Mott in 2012, and she was a Link leader when she was here. So,
very cool.
Yeah, at least since 2012.
Awesome. All right. Meg, can you explain how Link Crew works? Are students assigned to a specific mentor? Are all ninth graders included in the program? Just what are kind of the parameters for Link Crew?
So starting in February, juniors and seniors can apply to be a part of the Link Crew program, and we look through the applications, conduct interviews as necessary to select about 50 to 60 Link Crew leaders who will step up as mentors for the following year. We do training with them at the end of that year and then some training over the summer, and then they are given a group of 8 to 12 freshmen that they are responsible for. So those groupings we try to make just random and organic, just so that they're making sure to connect with everybody at school. And as new students join the Waterford Kettering community, and I'm sure at Mott too, we assign them to a Link leader, whether they are a freshman or a sophomore or junior, just to make sure that they have that extra connection.
Okay, wonderful. How do the 11th and 12th graders connect with the freshmen? And what are some examples of some of the things the Link Crew may do throughout the year, even beyond that first year, to help students feel included?
So our biggest event actually happens on the very first day of school with the freshman orientation program. So we do some extensive training, not only in teaching the Link leaders events to run with the freshmen, but also how to work with the freshmen. What do you do when somebody is resistant to an idea? How can we be welcoming? Teaching them some of those leadership philosophies. So freshman orientation, students will come in and they work with their Link leaders in a classroom for pretty much the entire morning. It's amazing. There's no teacher in the room. It's just the Link leaders leading students through events that not only are getting them to bond and to connect, but are also designed to teach them what are some of the important skills that they need to be successful throughout the year. After freshman orientation, we do a wide range of events. Largely, we put it back on the link leaders. What are the needs of the freshman class, and how can we fulfill that need? So one need just recently that we had identified was that the freshmen were not attending football games. So we worked with the athletic department to get them wristbands to get into a game for free, and then the link leaders taught them, this is how you participate in the student section, this is what it means to be a part of the Kettering Crazies. Throughout the year, we'll do a lot of different programs. We do trunk or treat with freshmen that meet certain benchmarks. We'll do cocoa and cram before final exams, teaching freshmen how to study, because for many of them, this is the first time they're really studying for classes. And then we do a lot of daily activities where we're just checking in and connecting. Teachers and freshmen can say, I would like a visit from my link leader, and link leaders will go and connect with those freshmen to help on a wide range of issues. It doesn't have to be academic. It could be social, emotional, behavioral, something that they need some advice on.
Okay, I like that, putting it back in the hands of the link leaders to come up with actual ideas of things that they may have experienced and how to create programs that could help the new freshmen. Andrew, how do you ensure inclusivity in Link Crews so that all students feel welcome?
Yeah, so inclusivity is at the core of what Link sort of represents for the school. So when we are selecting our leaders, typically we try to make it a very intentional effort to make our group of Link leaders look like the student body of the school. And so we're looking for, kids from all sorts of cultural backgrounds, kids from, every social group in the school, different academic skill levels, different interests and hobbies outside of school. We're trying to get the entire range of what it means to be a Corsair or a captain into this group. That way, when the freshmen come in, they can see, not only are there people, upperclassmen who they can look up to that, maybe they can follow in their footsteps and, sort of shadow for the year. But also, we want to make it a big point to them, you have a spot here, and there are people here to support you in that spot, and we're so happy that you have found your spot at our school. So.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back to learn more about the Link Crew.
Hello, Waterford School District Superintendent Scott Lindbergh here. Did you know that children can fall behind academically if they miss 10% of school days? Attendance in school is so crucial for student success and well-being, which is why the Waterford School District has implemented a Waterford Attendance Success Program to help educate our students and parents about why going to school matters. Attending school supports students' social, emotional, and physical well-being and provides students with opportunities to learn, achieve, and to reach out for their dreams. Find out more about our program on our website, wsdmi.org. That's wsdmi.org, because here at Waterford School District, every day counts.
Okay, we are back again with Meg Grossnickle from Kettering and Andrew Miller from Mott discussing our high school's amazing Link Crew program. Meg, peer mentorship is at the heart of this program. Why is this type of mentorship so important for our students?
I think we know that students do better when they feel connected to a community, and so this provides a connection from the very first day of school. Their very first experience is, hey, here are not just teachers, but here are other students who want you to be successful and who want you to be here. And I think that relationship just is essential as we go throughout the year. We're not only providing freshmen, though, with that support for success, but we're also empowering our upperclassmen to learn those communication and leadership skills that will make them not just successful in college or career plans, but really are so essential to every single relationship that they will have. So to see those relationships form and those student mentors really step into that role is also an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what are the positive effects that you see from the results of this program?
Well, my personal opinion about probably the most positive impact that Link has on the school as a whole is just getting the freshman class involved and incorporated into the school. I can't tell you how many freshmen, I teach primarily freshmen here at Mott, so I can't tell you how many kids have come up to me and said, hey, I joined this club because my Link leader showed me that it was a thing, and I really like video games, for example, so I joined video game club here. Or I, was unsure about if I should try out for the baseball team, but my Link leader's on the baseball team, and he encouraged me to join. So getting those freshmen involved in the school right from the get-go and showing them all the opportunities that they have here, that's probably the coolest thing to me. That's probably the biggest impact that I see on a day-to-day from the leaders.
Okay. Andrew, can you give an example of Link Crew working at its finest?
Yeah. So one like specific example that I think about all the time really was I think the first year that I was involved in Link Crew here. There was a kid, class of 2020, freshman, class of 2022. And both were very, very into the performing arts here. She was a little shyer. He was very much not shy. And she, like, to see the mentorship that he gave her throughout the year, and then, watching them put on shows together for the next 2 years, that was probably, like, first of all, phenomenal performances in and of themselves. But outside of that, like, they have continued that relationship even beyond high school. Like, I still see them performing in plays together to this day. Like, I think the show that they just put on over in Pontiac was a Cinderella show, and they were both starring in this show, and they started because he encouraged her to get involved in the drama club here at Mott. Like, I think, like, the ability to build a relationship as a freshman and then carry that way beyond high school, I hear about stuff like that all the time, and I think that, like, that warms my heart so much. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, that's a great example, and also a nod to our amazing performing arts programming
Absolutely.
that we have here for
Absolutely.
Waterford School District. Meg, do you have an example?
I think there's so much power in the day-to-day interactions when we see those individual conversations, and having freshmen ask and request to have their link leaders come and see them really speaks to just how important that is, that sense of connection and community. Specifically, an example that comes to mind actually just happened today. We had a freshman student who was feeling very nervous about homecoming, didn't have anybody to go with. There was a lot of, misconceptions about that whole thing. You don't have to have a date, blah, blah, blah. And so one of our link leaders asked her freshman to come with her group. And she's like, I'm going with a group of friends. Why don't you come with me? And that is nothing that we ask the link leader to do. That was just something she saw an opportunity. She thought about what would she have liked when she was a freshman, and she just totally stepped up and was incredibly supportive of that freshman in that moment.
Yeah, that's super nice. What a great example. Meg, how do you ensure that the mentorship remains effective and meaningful for both the Link Crew team, but then also the new student throughout the entire school year?
So we, reach out to teachers and ask for ideas. What are the needs that they are seeing? How can we help meet those needs? We also survey the freshmen and the link leaders throughout the year. So we have a Link Crew class. It's not a requirement of a link leader to be in the class, but it certainly is helpful. And they can then look through that survey information from both the freshmen and other link leaders and teachers to figure out what are our next steps. How do we make sure that we're being effective in our check-ins? We have a lot of different protocols for checking in with freshmen and for reporting back what happened, but a lot of it is just being open to the suggestions and open to the ideas. What are the freshmen saying they're needing? What's the feel in the building? What are the survey results telling us?
So listening. Right. Okay, we've heard a lot from our two Link Crew program coordinators, but let's hear what our students have to say. Scott recently headed out to interview some of our Link Crew mentors to get their perspective on the program. Let's listen to Kettering's interview first.
Hello, Scott Lindbergh here, Waterford Superintendent. We're here at Kettering High School to talk with two of our students who are involved in the Link Crew here at Kettering. So, Ashlyn, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience with the Link Crew?
I'm Ashlyn Campbell. I'm a senior here at Kettering. And I've been in Link Crew for the past 2 years, and I really enjoy connecting with the freshmen and the people here at Kettering, just everyone. I think it's a great program and a way to stay connected to the school.
Yeah, that's great, great. And Mateo, tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection here with the Link Crew.
So I'm Mateo Santiago. I am in 11th grade. This is my first year doing Link Crew. Okay. I'm liking it so far. It's really fun connecting with all the kids and just let them know that high school is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's a good place, exciting 4 years. Talk to us a little bit about the most effective strategies in connecting with our new freshmen, our ninth graders.
For freshman orientation, especially the first day of school, we have a series of events that we always do in each classroom, each kid. We take them around a tour of the school, which really helps them. And I think like the activities that make them moving, and like we have one that we throw a ball around. That one's just fun and makes you laugh, and everyone has a good time with that one.
Yeah. So it's a good experience, and we want them to be comfortable. We talked a little bit about your first days of school and the relationships with teachers. How do you encourage the ninth grade freshman students to be comfortable in the new high school setting?
Just going out there and trying new things, honestly. Like, it's good to just talk. I mean, I know it's like, oh, I'm nervous, but just going out there and letting them know, like, hey, I like this stuff, this is my name, just things you like and stuff like that. I think it really helps just connect with them a little bit better.
Yeah. And let me ask just a final question. How do you bridge the gap for the rest of the year? What does this look like with the Link Crew for you and the freshmen the rest of the year?
So for the rest of the year, we do like check-ins. So we have our like big thing, which is the orientation, and then after that we go into like check-ins like once a week, and then we just like plan out like, if you're not doing too well, we're like, okay, these are the things we could like work on. And then if you're doing really good, we're just like, hey, you're doing great, keep up the good work. We'll see you at the next week. You know, just give them pointers on what they could be doing better, or, you know, stuff like that, what they could carry on doing.
Yeah, great. Ashlyn, do you think you would have liked the Link Crew, or was the Link Crew here when you came to Kettering?
Yeah, it was a little different because it was online and everything, but they really helped me when I first came in the school. And adding on to Mateo's question, we are now starting these things like it's once a month. Like every freshman of every class and everything come in one time an hour throughout the month, and just everyone's in there, and we have like a new thing that we're going to teach them about, like the easier things that you wouldn't think about teaching, but they don't know, like how to navigate MyStar and everything like that. So we really think that's going to help our freshmen this year.
Well, thank you so much, Ashlyn, Mateo. Thank you for helping our students, your colleagues here at Kettering, feel a part of the Kettering High School and being a captain. Thanks so much.
All right, great information on Link Crew coming from Ashlyn and Mateo at Kettering. Now let's listen to our Mott mentor.
Scott Lindbergh, Superintendent of Waterford Schools, here at Mott High School, and I have senior Eric, and I would like you just to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Eric. I'm a senior here at Waterford Mott. This is my second year in Link Crew, and after school I play tennis and I'm in marching band.
So tell us a little bit about your mentoring. When did you tell us about a positive difference that you made in a freshman's transition here to Mott High School?
Well, on the first day of school, when we got our groups of freshmen, I saw that one of my freshmen had a locker that was like 3 or 4 lockers down from mine, and he was having trouble opening his locker. So I wanted to help him with that, and I didn't want to, just open it for him and then leave him confused the next time he has to open his locker. So I went to the locker next to him, asked if I could help, and did the combination, and we did it at the same time, side by side. And then we got him to open his locker. And then he faced another problem because he wasn't used to the thin lockers that we have at Mott.
Yes.
So I was trying to help him organize his school supplies like I do to make it all fit. And I'm reminded of it every day because his locker's right next to mine. So.
Oh, that's great. So good location. So what are some of the challenges that freshmen have transitioning from middle school to high school, things that you keep in mind that you can help the new freshmen with?
Yeah, well, the freshmen, they used to be 8th graders, so they're used to being like the oldest in the middle school, like the most knowledgeable about where everything is. So they're not really used to like everybody else helping them. They're used to helping others. So they're a little hesitant receiving help at first, but as long as you're, personable and nice, they're actually very welcoming when you actually do try to help.
Yeah. Well, excellent. It's so important to welcome our freshmen in. Eric, thank you for all you do on Link Crew.
Yep.
And great representation, again, coming from Eric over at Mott, talking about his experience as Commissioner of Link Crew. Thank you to all of our students for agreeing to participate in this podcast, because there really is nothing more important than getting your perspective. Andrew, for our listeners, is there any way that the broader educational community can contribute to or support Link Crew?
Yeah, we're always open to, broader community support, just in terms of like getting support for the events that we put on throughout the year. So orientation's our first big one. And then after that, we have things like smaller events, freshman tailgate that we try to put on every year. We have our cocoa and crème that we put on every year. So donations are great if we get them. Outside of that, simply encouraging freshmen to participate in these events is a huge support for the program, because these leaders, they put a lot of time and effort into planning the events, into training for the events. So getting freshmen to participate, getting some buy-in from them, it goes a very, very long way for us.
Scott, this is an amazing program.
It sure is.
And for those who don't know, we also have similar programming at the middle school called WEB, which stands for Where Everybody Belongs. So peer mentorship is a very important piece of this district. How do you see Link Crew fitting in with this in our strategic plan?
Well, the strategic plan is about having everybody involved, inclusivity, and this program really speaks to that. You've got the peer mentoring going on, and students that have walked in their shoes before. And so they've experienced all of the challenges of the transitions and the celebrations, and so they can speak to them in their voice, right? Because they've been there and they're there with them. And to have that mentorship right in the building where they're connecting with them, I just think it's awesome. And talking with the students in those interviews, we saw that as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Scott. And again, thank you to our two Link Crew leaders, Meg and Andrew, as well as our Link Crew student representatives, Ashlyn, Mateo, and Eric. The work each of you are doing in this district to make newcomers feel welcome and connected is very important, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. So that's the end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in to our now award-winning show, WSD Voice. This podcast is brought to you by Waterford School District's Department of School and Community Services and is produced by video production coordinator Jane Tikelli. I am the host of this podcast, Sarah Davis, and you can find all episodes of WSD Voice on our website at wsdmi.org, or you can tune in to 89.5 WAHS or Radio Central Multicultural. We also invite you to subscribe to the podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and if you want to watch the recording, on our WSD YouTube channel. We so appreciate you listening today and encourage you to tune in to future episodes of WSD Voice as we discuss topics geared toward inspiring, educating, and empowering our students, staff, alumni, and community to thrive.